The chairs were arranged in careful rows, white ribbons tied by someone who kept apologizing for how windy it was. I noticed the empty ones early, but I treated them like a weather problem, something unfortunate, not personal, something you work around. The officiant smiled at us with a practiced calm. My partner squeezed my hand. We said our vows with voices that didn't shake, and for a while that felt like a victory. The words did what they were supposed to do. They made us married. Afterward, people congratulated us with the gentle enthusiasm of guests who knew they were filling space. Someone said, "It's intimate," as if intimacy had been the plan all along. I nodded and thanked them. I had become very good at nodding. I answered questions without answering them. "Are your parents running late?" They had something come up. "Your sister. She sends her love." It was easier to protect the story than to tell the truth. I didn't want my wedding to turn into an explanation. The cake arrived, simple, vanilla, exactly what we'd chosen. We stood together, smiling for the camera. Someone counted down. The knife went in cleanly. That's when my phone vibrated, once, then again, then it didn't stop. I glanced down expecting a group chat joke or a distant cousin realizing the date too late. Instead, there was my mother's name, bolded urgent. "We need to talk." Now, I didn't open it right away. I cut the cake. Applause broke out. My phone kept lighting up against the tablecloth, like it was trying to breathe. When I finally looked again, there were missed calls stacked like evidence. 52 of them. From my mother, from my father, from my sister, from my best friend. The one who'd promised, years ago, that no matter what, she'd be there. I felt something settle in my chest, heavy but oddly steady. They hadn't forgotten. They'd chosen. I excused myself and stepped outside, the sounds of celebration dulling behind the door. The air was cooler than I expected. I sat on the low stone wall and let the phone ring until it stopped on its own. Messages followed. Rapid, overlapping. "We didn't think it would matter this much. It got bigger than expected. Your sister needed us. Please call. This is urgent." Urgent now. I thought about the months leading up to the wedding. The delayed RSVPs. The suggestions to move the date. The way conversations drifted whenever I talked about plans. I had told myself not to take it personally. That adults were busy. That love didn't always show up the way you expected. Standing there in my wedding clothes, phone buzzing in my hand, I realized how much effort I'd put into not noticing. I didn't call back. Inside, my partner found me eventually. They didn't ask questions. They sat beside me and rested their shoulder against mine. That quiet solidarity felt louder than any apology I'd ever received. "We can leave whenever you want," they said. "Not yet," I said. "I want to remember this part." We stayed. We laughed when it was appropriate. We danced once badly and didn't care. The night ended the way nights do, chairs stacking, lights dimming. The ordinary work of ending something that had been important. I didn't respond to the messages until the next morning. I sent one text. "I'm married, we'll talk later." The conversation, when it finally happened, was careful. Voices were softer than usual, like everyone had agreed not to break something fragile. My mother cried. My father explained logistics. My sister talked about timing, about expectations, about how she didn't think I'd mind because I was so understanding. That word landed wrong. Understanding had become a role I played so well that people forgot it cost anything. They wanted forgiveness quickly. They wanted reassurance that this hadn't changed things permanently. I told them the truth gently. "I love you," I said, "but my wedding already happened without you. I can't redo that." Silence followed. Not dramatic silence, confused silence, as if they were waiting for the part where I softened it, where I took responsibility for smoothing things over. I didn't. After that, nothing exploded, no one to sound anyone. Holidays still existed. Group chats still pinged, but something thinned. I stopped rearranging my life to accommodate last-minute changes. I stopped translating my needs into something smaller so they'd fit more comfortably. I stopped pretending that showing up late was the same as showing up at all. My family noticed, eventually. They called it distance. I called it accuracy. What surprised me most was the absence of bitterness. I grieved, yes, but not endlessly. The grief had a shape. It fit inside that day, that cake, that phone lighting up too late. My marriage grew around that space, not in spite of it. We built traditions that didn't require explanations. We filled our home with people who arrived when they said they would. Sometimes my mother still says, "I wish we could go back." I don't argue. Some moments only teach you once.